So I suppose where do I start? But at the beginning, I had just turned 27 or 37. Wished I was 27, actually 37. I had recently been promoted in my job and had got a new apartment. So I always wanted a new apartment. I'd been sharing a house with friends of mine, work colleagues, and really wanted a new apartment. So when I got the promotion, I was delighted and I took it, So life was good. Worked really hard, a lot of responsibility during the week, but also partied really hard at the weekends, We have a local GA club here, and I'm good friends with a lot of them, so we partied every weekend and had some good fun, and it was a good time. And it was through that partying that I struck up a relationship, and it was all going well, except for at one point, while being physical with this person, as much as I was attracted to them, I couldn't get an erection. But I passed it off because we had been out drinking, and the pressure of work that was involved, I thought nothing more of it and decided just to go a bit easier on alcohol and things. But then later on, maybe a week later, I found I was having trouble going to the toilet. And as strange as it sounds, I was actually quite happy because I felt, right, well, that's an obvious reason why I can't get an erection. The two of them are linked. I obviously have an infection, Go to the doctor, get my antibiotics, and I'll be back to normal in no time, Great. So I did that. I went to the doctor and we did a few checks, and he referred me to a neurologist. So what I thought maybe a bit weird, I said, well, at least he was being thorough. So I did that. I went to the neurologist and I had more tests done and didn't think any more about it. Was happy that there was something being done and that, a couple of weeks I would be fine again. And so I went back to the neurologist. The test results had come back. And I walked in the door. And I knew there was something funny just by the way he was sitting. I don't know, maybe whether I just felt it or whether, I don't know. But he asked me to sit down, and he was the far side of the desk. And he said to me, there's no easy way to say this. He said, we believe you have prostate cancer. And I looked at him and, what? Prostate what? And he said, prostate cancer. And I said, that can't be, that's for old men, That's not me. I'm 37 years old. I'm fit, I've never even gone to I haven't been to a doctor in years, What do you mean of cancer? So he went through the process of what was to come, but I didn't hear, to be honest, I didn't hear a whole lot of it, That's all that was in my head was cancer. Nah, not me. But it was, So he told me I'd have to have an operation. And then I went, got the appointment and had my operation and was in the hospital for about 10 days. And I had a catheter, which was strapped to my leg. And it obviously attached to my penis, and they gave me this gel that I could use to stop it irritating my penis, So even to do that was kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. But I left the hospital. I didn't actually find the catheter too bad, When my father had come and collect me, and I didn't find it too bad. I could walk easy enough with it, But I just didn't want it there. And I went home with my father. I had no choice really, I'd never been sick before, so I had no medical card or anything like it. So I wasn't going to be able to afford to pay for my new apartment or pay for procedures. And there was that worry on top of everything else, and But at least I knew leaving the hospital, okay, I had the catheter strapped to me and I'd lost my apartment and stuff, but at least I knew the one thing that had caused all this issue, the cancer, at least that was gone. That wasn't there anymore. It couldn't do any more damage to me. So we went home, which was tough in itself. My parents are really good people, but I had left home 18 years ago to have my own life, and to go back and into my own room, you know, it was tough in its own right. But I had the hope, you know, 3 weeks from now, you know, I'd get the catheter out, do what they told you to do, you know, do your walks and, you know, try and act as normal as possible. And, you know, in 3 weeks' time, I was getting this catheter out, and, you know, I was going to be me again. And there was definitely nobody going to stop me living life from now on, you know. And so I did my walks, and I applied my creams and injected myself daily. You get this needle also to stop your blood from clotting, you know. I had no problem with that. It wasn't a particularly big needle in the first place, you know. So, and I did that, and the third week I went in. It's going to be a good day. Catheter was coming out. Today is a good day. And went in. My father brought me in again, you know. And he asked me if I wanted him to come in. And I said, no, Dad, I'll be out in a few minutes. You know, it's okay. So I went in, and the nurses, and they were so kind. They removed my catheter, you know. And while they were explaining stuff to me, I urinated on the floor right in front of them. And I didn't even know I was doing it until I felt it, you know. And it was so embarrassing. I felt like a 6-year-old again, you know. I just felt that small and insecure. And so they gave me the nappy. It's a green nappy. It's a big nappy, bulky nappy, and they showed me how to use it. And I put it on and in front of them. And I was wearing loose tracksuit bottoms, but even the nappy managed to fill them out. You know, you could hear it while you were walking. And so they asked if I wanted, and had anyone with me, and if I wanted them to come in. I said, yeah. My dad came in, and he brought me out to the car, you know. And we went home, nappies and all. And I went up to my room, and I went to bed. And I lay there and cried. Cried, I think, until I actually fell asleep. I don't know how long I slept for. I don't think it was too long. But when I woke up, the bed was soaked. I was soaked. The blankets were soaked. It was just wet everywhere, you know. And I had to call my mother, because even though I didn't want her to know, I didn't even know where the sheets were in the house that I could change them, you know. So she came up, and you could see in her eyes too, you know. She felt so sorry for me, and I hated that. But she didn't mean anything bad by it. I just hated it. And I watched her change my bedclothes, 37 years of age. And like previously with the catheter, though, you know, I had a goal to hold on to there as well, as in, if I did my physio, and I worked really hard at it, that I could be in control again, you know, be controlled very quickly. I was going to be the one patient, whoever had prostate cancer, I was going to be in control in the shortest time possible. So I would do my exercises, and, you know, and I did, you know, I did my exercises and went to physio, and they showed me how to do it, and you know, but I wasn't getting anywhere. You know, weeks had gone by, and I was still in less control than I had been before, you know. And I hadn't been going out. My friends would ring all the time, but I wasn't going out, you know. I wasn't going anywhere, not like this. Nobody was going to see me like this, you know. It wasn't so much that I was worried what might happen there, but I didn't want them to see me like this, you know. I didn't want them to see me, that everybody would see that I was wearing a nappy, and no, No, I wasn't letting anybody see me like that. No way. So I was really low. I had no one to talk to. And it was a struggle to get out of bed any morning. But my mother saw this, you know. She's a great person, a great woman. And she had gone down to the local health centre, and she had found what they call a support group for people with prostate cancer. And she came back and she told me about this and how she felt it would be good for me, you know. And I said, no, ma'am, that's not going to happen, you know. I'm not sitting in a room full of old men, you know, who can't control how to go to the toilet. No, it's bad enough me not being able to do it without listening to old men tell their story. But she looked at me as she does, and I knew she wasn't going to let it go, you know. So I said, okay, right, I'll do one and I'll go from there. So I did, and yeah, as it happened, you know, I was the youngest person there, you know. A lot of men there older than me. But there was no judging, and you didn't have to talk. It wasn't like all these support groups you'd see on TV or films or anything like that. You didn't have to do anything. But listen, and there were some such stories, and then there were some times when I didn't speak about it at all. But the practical element as well, as in, they told me about the smaller nappies you can get, you know, and God, they were so important. You know, you think it's such a thing like that, but just to be able to put on a pair of trousers and see them actually fitting around your backside, you know, it's strange, but it's something you miss when you don't have it, you know. So there was that side of it. There was the mental side of it. You know, they were there for everything. I couldn't speak highly enough about that group or tell people how important it is, because it was fabulous for me. You know, my friends and all that, in the group and the GA and everything, they were brilliant with with fundraising and all that kind of thing, you know, and they helped me, brought me back into the community again in so many ways. But the support group and my parents were number one for me. That's where I'm at the minute. You know, I still can't get an erection. But I know that's down the line, you know, and I know I will, and it'll come, and I'll get full control of my bladder, and I'll decide when I want to go to the toilet. And that's down the line, and it's coming, and I can feel that. And that goal is there. And through it all, I'll get there, and I'll beat it. And that's what's there, and there is that support for me. And I feel so much happier now as a result of it, and my life is slowly getting back together. You know, the GA gang, they had fundraisers for me, and you know, I'm going out more and I'm being involved more in it, and it's just, life has improved so much, you know. And while it is a long road yet, I know I'll get there.